So you got a drop fade or a high top, and things were going smooth at first. Then some time passed and you decided that this just isn't for you anymore. Or maybe your barber just cut a little too much off the sides and it completely ruined your haircut. But you don't want to start all the way over. So now you're just stuck in this weird place where you want a fuller look, but you don't want to cut all your hair off. So what do you do? Don't worry, I got you. In this video, I'm going to be telling you how to properly and successfully grow your undercut the right way. Now, before we dive in, this channel is all about hair care. So if you care about your hair, which I know you do, then subscribe with the bell to stay notified. And I can 100% guarantee you're going to love this video, so go ahead and hit the like button. It helps out the channel. Now, when it comes to getting rid of an undercut, there's only 2 ways to actually do it. And I can tell you now, both is definitely going to be a process, and it's not easy by any means. But if you really do want to grow back your undercut and have a full head of hair, here's your options. Option 1. Our first option is going to be to cut your hair. This is obviously the quickest and simplest way to go, but clearly it isn't easy letting go of something you spent your time growing and cultivating over the years. If you're in a dire situation where you just need your undercut gone, this is your best bet. It's the easiest path ahead and the road most traveled and whatnot. And if you're an impatient person, this might be the best route for you to take. Option 2. This option is going to be to grow out your undercut. Now, I can tell you this now, it's going to be a steep road ahead. To properly be able to grow out your undercut, you're going to have to give extra love and attention to it. You'll continue to care for your hair as you normally would, but you also want to focus more on your undercut. So here's what you need to do to properly be able to grow out your undercut. Number 1, stop getting haircuts. Now, this is going to be a little rough because it's going to have you looking crazy for a cool minute. But you're basically going to have to completely stop getting haircuts altogether. Obviously, the area won't be able to grow back if you're continuously cutting it. And a lot of the times, people have undercuts that they don't like because a lot of barbers just don't listen. So if you're serious about growing back that undercut, stop going to the barber, at least for now. Number 2, massage your scalp. You're going to want to massage your scalp in the area where your undercut is. This is going to help stimulate blood circulation, which encourages hair growth. You're going to want to massage your scalp once or twice a day, every single day for at least 5 minutes. I know it might not seem like much, but this can have significant benefits on your hair growth and can even help maximize your hair's potential growth in that area. So if you want to grow back that undercut quickly, you really can't forget to do this. Number 3, apply hair oil. You need to apply a hair growth oil to the affected area. We need to isolate and focus on that area. And by doing this, we can ensure that we're getting the maximum amount of hair growth possible every single month. Now, this doesn't mean completely neglect the rest of your head, but we do want to focus on applying hair growth oil to that area to provide our scalps with an abundant amount of nourishment, putting our undercut in an ideal environment where our hair growth can really thrive. The hair oil that you decide to use matters because not every oil will work great for your scalp. Some might work better than others, and some might work better for other people's scalps. Now, all of this can get confusing. That's why I just recommend using a mix of oils. One of my favorites is wild growth hair oil. This is simply because of the fact that I just know that it simply just works. A lot of people have had success with it, including myself, so I'm confident that it'll probably work for you. Just make sure you're careful about it because there are a lot of fakes out there. But don't worry, I've left a link to where you can get a 100% authentic bottle down in my description below. So make sure you're not getting scammed, scroll down and check it out. Now you're going to want to apply this to the affected area every other day. Meaning if you apply it Monday, you'll skip Tuesday and apply it Wednesday, then skip Thursday and apply it Friday, skip Saturday and apply it Sunday, then start the cycle all the way over again. In between wash days, you can feel free to rinse out the oil. Just make sure if you rinse it out to put it back in. Then finally on wash days, you'll wash your hair as you normally would, then start the cycle all the way over again. Number 4, braid your hair. Now this step is really rough because by this point, you're already going to be looking crazy. You don't have a haircut and you haven't had one for weeks. And your undercut is starting to grow, so you basically just look homeless. And like you have no clue what you're doing with your hair at all. I'm sure by this point, a lot of you guys are wearing hats and do-rags and basically don't even want to be seen in public. Remember, I did say this wasn't easy. By braiding the undercut area, it'll make it grow back significantly faster than just leaving it regularly. But if you made it this far, keep sticking with it because you're halfway there. Once your hair reaches about 4 to 5 inches in length, you're gonna wanna start braiding your undercut. Yes, you heard me right. You need to braid it. Now this can look crazy having a small portion of your hair braided and the rest just out. So to avoid looking absolutely insane, I recommend braiding the rest of your hair with it. The very best style for this is gonna be cornrows. By getting cornrows, you'll be able to play it off as a detailed design. Since your undercut hair is gonna be significantly shorter than the rest of your braids, it'll just look like added details on the side. You'll need to find a braider that can really make the style look good. Make sure you explain to her that you're trying to grow out your undercut so she can really understand the assignment. At this point in the game, you'll be able to get lineups, but that's it, just lineups. Don't allow your barber to cut any hair off no matter how bad his fingers are itching. Keep in mind during this entire process, you're still massaging your scalp and applying oil. But since your braids are significantly better at holding in moisture than when your hair's regularly out, you don't have to apply the oil as often. Once or twice a week will be sufficient while your undercut is in braids. You're gonna wanna keep your undercut in braids for at least 1 month. I know a lot of you guys have difficulty keeping braids in, but you're just gonna have to see it through. After 1 month passes, you're gonna take your hair out of braids and let it rest for at least 1 week. Right after 1 week passes, you're gonna wanna put your undercut in braids again, and you're gonna wanna continue spamming this over and over again, at least until your undercut is at a sufficient length. Last but definitely not least, step 5. This by far is gonna be one of the most important steps and gonna be one of the hardest pills to swallow, so brace yourself. You're gonna need to cut your hair. By this point, months have passed and you suffered through all of the weird stages of your hair looking absolutely insane. You haven't gotten a haircut, you suffered through looking homeless, and you suffered through having weird tiny little baby braids for months.
Oh my God.
And now it's time for the final step. You're gonna have to cut your hair. At this stage in the game, your undercut should be at a fairly solid length. But despite how long you've been growing your hair in total, the rest of your hair is gonna be significantly longer than your undercut. And the only way to even it out is gonna be to trim your hair. For this, you're gonna have to go to a professional. I recommend going to a licensed cosmetologist who can blow dry and trim your hair properly. Don't get your hair trimmed with clippers. Evening out your hair is gonna be the last step to growing out your undercut. And by doing this, you'll be able to have the full head of hair that you've been dreaming about. Just keep in mind, if your undercut isn't at a length where you feel okay with trimming the rest of your hair, you'll just have to do this process for a little longer. But regardless, at the end of it, you'll ultimately always end up having to trim your hair. Like I said, this wouldn't be easy, but by following all of these steps, I can 100% guarantee you'll be able to grow out your undercut and maximize your hair growth as fast as possible. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead and hit the like button. And if you found this video super helpful, feel free to leave a super thanks. It's like leaving a little tip and it directly helps out the channel. If you still haven't, what are you waiting for? Subscribe with the bell so that you can stay notified. You care about your hair and this channel is all about it, so subscribe with the bell so that you're not missing out. And feel free to drop a comment if you have any questions, comments, or concerns. I'll be sure to get back to you, I promise. Lastly, send this video over to someone that you know is struggling with their undercut. They might just thank you for it. But yeah, that's all the time that I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Kozak, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.